episode 3 of the Vauxhall Astra. This one's not going to feature power. We've done a power run and we need to fix some things as well, and have a look around the car in general to see why it's lost 38 horsepower, 40 horsepower, and figure out what's going on with that. But in the meantime, when I bought the car, the steering wheel controls didn't work with the radio and one of the speakers was bust, so that's what we're going to do today. Is we're going to replace the speakers and attach the, I don't know what it's called, attach the little thing that works with the steering wheel controls. Looks like an extra little loom you put in. So let's have a look at what we've got. So this is the little loom that goes between the radio and the steering wheel controls. Connect2 it's called, or Connects2. And the door speakers that we're going to fit are FLI 6-inch components. I've never heard of these. It says on the top the Vibe design. I've heard of Vibe. They were relatively cheap, like normal, like everything I buy, all available off eBay. Now hoping that a person who owned the car, I say several people owned it before me because I think I'm the 15th owner, they've changed the front speakers. So what I'm hoping is that they've got the adapter rings already in for this size of speakers, because if they haven't, this will be on hold and I'll have to start another day again. But let's hope that they have. Shouldn't need many tools to do this. You just need a set of screwdrivers. So I've got my trusty Aldi ones. See the imposter at the back? Don't know where that came from, but that should be enough to do it. I've also got Torx bits. I don't think MK4 Astra will have Torx bits in it. Not for the door cards anyway. Pretty sure it's going to be just Phillips screws, but we'll see. So I'll take all these out just in case, and that should be the only tools I need today, with a bit of luck. Right, so to fit this Connects2 loom, you need to be to the wires behind the radio. So the first thing we do is going to move the radio, which you'll need your radio keys for. And wait a minute, is that actually loose? Well, that's handy. I obviously haven't clipped that back in properly. So remove that, face your surround, get rid of the faceplate. How does that come off? Like that. Get your radio keys in. And pull your head unit out. I'll need another hand to do this, so I'll have to knock this off for now. Right, so you've got your original radio wire in there and your ISO connector for your aftermarket head unit there. Now this loom here, it connects between the two and joins in. And in that it splits off to go to this Connect2 box, which has some output wires there. Now this is the one here that we need for this radio. And on mine, assuming most will be similar, I've got this rear sub audio out, which I'm pretty sure is powered, and that's where we connect that into, that little jack plug there. So if we plug that into there, like that, and then join this in line between the original wiring and the ISO adapter, that should then power it up. So we need to make sure we get this in the right way around, so I'm pretty sure that's the bottom ones here, is it? Is it? Yeah, the bottom ones, isn't it? Yeah, because that's all the powers. So that one plugs into that like that. And then these will just plug straight back in, like we did previously. So you've now just got an extra piece of loom between your radio and your car wiring harness, basically. So that there's all plugged in. Now, in the instructions, I don't think they actually are necessary to do anything, so I'm going to leave them for now. I think they're obviously for different radios, need different combinations of wires connected. So let's turn this back on. I've got my phone connected up for some music. Let's make sure I turn the volume down. Right, so this is a YouTube free, royalty free music, okay? So steering wheel control, so this now should put the volume up. It does, yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's gone back a track. That's cycling through some info instead of going forwards a track. But yeah, there's volume and everything works, that's good. Cool. So happy with that. Awesome. Connects2 working. Right, okay, so now I can move on to doing the front door speakers, which I didn't bring my screwdrivers for, and I need to swap the car in the drive so I can get the door wide open. So we'll get on with that. Awesome. So that's Connects2 on and working, so I can put the radio back in now. And there's your door card in your Astra. Now this is obviously had speakers put in it already. It should be behind there, and that's what we need to change. So first things first is we need to remove this cover here. So we need to get a screwdriver in and go in there. Put the light on, you can see it enough. You need a flathead screwdriver. If you've got a hook, sometimes the little hooks are better, but that's that popping off there nicely. Just need to get it past the door handle. Just need to pull the door handle out and slide it across and over. Now you can unplug everything. That there, them little marks I made, they should just push back out again, they should be alright. But yeah, it's basically clipped in here and there, and that's what keeps it all together. So prise it out with a screwdriver, work your way up and just gently pull away with the screwdriver. Pull the door handle towards you so you can slide this off, and then you need to disconnect your electrics and then it's out of the way. I'll do that first, and then there's actually not that many screws to remove this from what I remember. I think there's one there. Pretty sure you take that one off. There's one behind there as well, and I think there's just 3 across the bottom. If I'm 3 or 4, I can't remember. We'll have a look. Yeah, there's one there. It's difficult to see, but there's one there, and I think there's just another 3 across the bottom, and that should be the door card off. And this actually, you can just pull this off back there. There you go. See how easy that was? It fell off. Amazing. Right, so that's the first screw out of there. Now I like to keep everything in the same place so I don't lose anything. Normally I'd put them in the door card, but because I'm removing that I can't do that, so I'm just going to put them down there in the gear gate a bit there, so I know where everything is. You can put them in there as well, you can put them in there, but see, that's got all sorts in it already. Free money still. In fact, if anyone's ever watched the first part, I had a Freddo in the glove box. I've still got a Freddo in the glove box. I ain't eating that. Never going to go anywhere near it. I'll just keep it in the car. So yes, we need to remove that one, that one, that one, and the 3 across the bottom, and then that is the door card off. We'll get on with that then. So that's the top strip removed, and then what we need to do is we need to lift it out over this. All the clips are off. I'll sort that in a minute. Football just gone to the floor. Put this down, it's impossible. Right, to remove your handle cable, you've got a little tab there, so you need to flick that tab. It's the other side, like that, and then it allows you to pull this blue bit out over there, and then pull your cable out like that. That's your door card completely removed. Right, now luckily the previous person has fitted these adapter rings, which I was hoping that they had, and they have, so that's good, because I need those. If you didn't have those for this size of speaker, you will need adapter rings, but luckily I've already got those. I was hoping I did, and I did. Got lucky there. There's another silver clip I need, and another silver clip. Right, okay, so all I've done is I've just tucked a little component, a little crossover box up there. Now I'm going to have to see if I can use their tweeters with my speakers, because the tweeters look a lot bigger than the ones that I have, but that's not really a problem, it's just a tweeter. But I'll put the crossovers that come with these speakers in and take this out. As you can see, they've just pushed the pins into the original wiring plug like that, which is fair enough, that's probably what I'd do. But no, I can remove these because the passenger side one is actually blown, so they do need changed regardless. And then we'll look at the tweeters after that. Wicked. Right, so these are the old tweeters that were in the car. Where's the new one gone? There's the new one there. Now, unfortunately, this is a smaller sort of size physically than what that is. So whoever's actually cut that hole out of the panel, means I'm not going to be able to fit that in because it's just going to fall straight out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those tweeters instead of these, which is not really what I want to do, but it'll be okay. And then these are the new speakers there, nice and shiny silver, and there's the crossover for them. So I will wire up from the door speakers in the Astra, which will go to these two wires here, and then I will pick, there you see, tweeter and woofer and those. So obviously one to the tweeter, I'll just wire straight up to that tweeter, and that one there goes straight to that speaker. And that solves that problem sort of. I would really prefer to use the tweeters that came with it, just because they're designed to go with that speaker, but it shouldn't really cause too much issues. You get all these other grills and stuff with these, but I'm just going to fit these behind the factory grills so it just looks like a factory door card. Unfortunately, I wish I had black paint because I would have painted that black because it looked a bit more factory, but I don't. So we'll leave it silver for now. Yep, so we'll go and fit the wiring first, then we'll fit the speaker, and then we'll fit that back on, and then we can refit the door card. And that's that. So the first thing I'm doing is I've made a hole, you can't really see it, but it's where my finger is, through there with a screwdriver to push the tweeter wires up through. And then I'm going to mount the crossover with sticky pad right about there on the other side of the door. So this kit came with sticky pads to be used for the crossover. So we'll pull it back through a little bit, stick a little pad on. That goes to the mid, and then we can just stick that somewhere about there. Should do that. Oh, it's come off. Wait a minute. That's better. That's better. Right, okay, so we're using these tweeters, and that's the wiring for them, so just connect that back up, trace to trace. Of course these are backwards to be annoying, are they? No. Once that can now get fitted. Right, so I've rejoined the original wires together from what they'd made, and that there's the new wires for my new speaker, and these are my new screws. In fact, I'll see if their original screw holes line up. They might. They might. Do, so we'll just reuse those. It's a bit easier. Right, so we've got everything plugged in that we need, but the door card's off, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it to make sure it works before I put the door card back on, otherwise I end up having to redo it all. So let's test it. Works. Cool, door card back on. make sure that the cable's tucked back in there properly. In there, otherwise it'll pop back out again. You won't be able to open the door. You can hear. Works. Right. Now, we need to line that. Put our relevant wiring nuts back through, so it needs to come through there. Right, so you've pulled the wiring back through for the electric mirrors and for the electric windows. Now this comes through the same bit, and as you can see it just clips in there and runs around the back of there to the plug. So now we can get our screws in. We've got Phillips, flathead, and 3 Phillips across the bottom. And then you can put your cover back on, put that trim back on, that's you done. And then the other side to do, but we won't film that because it's exactly the same. Turns out this passenger side door card doesn't have flathead screws in it, just Phillips, so perhaps the other sides had to replace them, so just be wary of that. Maybe they are supposed to be all Phillips. So this is the speaker that was bust, which is the passenger side, and I think it's just got corrosion or water in it because it doesn't sound very good. All the cones are a bit corroded, so magnet and that. So I'm guessing it's just a bit dead. Yeah, so this is the main reason for doing this. So we'll get this one swapped out, and then it'll match the other side, and that's it. Door card removal and speaker swap on a MK4 Astra. So that's the front speakers swapped on the Astra, and the door cards removed obviously to do that. You can't tell there's anything changed, it looks exactly the same as it did, which is good. Apart from that bit there, I need to sort that little metal clip out, we'll sort that another day. Yeah, so straightforward enough. Prise these off with a screwdriver, just pop them out of there, they come off, then remove your wiring for your electric window switch, or also for your mirrors if you're on the driver's side. Remove the cable, then remove the screws. You've got 3 across the bottom, you've got 1 screw there, 1 screw there, and I think there was there 1 there and 1 there. There's 6 screws that hold the actual door card on, the rest of it's just clipped on. Once that's removed, then you can pull it apart, pull it away from the door, remove the clip for the cable, take the cable off, and that's your door card completely off. And then obviously just wire your speakers up. The speaker wires are already in your door, so I've rewired those to those, put the crossover in with a sticky pad as you've seen I did on the other side, and wired up to the tweeter on there. And then refitting is basically just the opposite of removal, which is pretty obvious, but that's how you refit them all. The hardest thing to make sure, I think I mentioned it before, I can't remember, is to make sure you get the clip and the cable onto your door card properly, because if your cable pops back off again, you're going to have to take your door card back off, because you're not going to be able to open your door with the handle. Like this one doesn't. Oh, I've locked it, that's why. There you go, see. I had actually done it right. And that's that. That's pretty straightforward. I mean, you need side cuts or whatever, and wire strippers if you're doing the speakers. If you just take your door card off to do, maybe replace the membrane, if you've got leaks or whatever reason you're doing that for, you just need screwdrivers. And that's really straightforward. Excellent. Thank you. That's the end of part 3 of the Vauxhall Astra GSI.